Hello, friends. Back after a couple of days uh, to discuss what happened in the third test match, uh, where Rain had the last laugh, if you can call it that, and a lot of things that happened in and um, after that test match. Um, the Indians, I actually lost heart by the way the Indians batted in the first innings. And what was disappointing was the kind of strokes. Getting out in cricket for a batter is not unusual, but the way you get out speaks a lot about how much committed you are to the game. And to be very honest, both Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill um, were massive letdowns. Now, I actually think that put a lot of pressure on Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma and the rest of the batting order. The openers, the first four batters, the top order of a team, is like the mother and father of any team. It is their responsibility to ensure that the family is provided for, taken care of, and any difficulty is taken by them, the mother and the father, or at least either of them. And the sooner Yashasvi Jaiswal realizes that, the better for him and for uh, the Indian team and for the Indian team in this series and the WTC cycle. We have been pushed down to the third spot now, um, and we just a touching distance away from the Aussies and even the South Africans, but the Aussies are second and the Indians are third. What happened in the test match? Was it a cause for worry? Yes, it was a cause for worry when the first innings started. And what was wonderful to see, um, just also reminds me that I got a lot of my predictions right. I did say that Smith is going to uh, make a comeback, although he got a lot of luck, but nobody in the world deserves more luck than that man. He will do everything within his power and grasp to make contributions. And that catch that he took of KL Rahul was an absolute stunner. And I love the comparisons with a catch that Steve Waugh took, that Mark Waugh took at slips uh, of the bowling of Shane Warne. I felt that was better because that was, I mean, just flying and then it was reflexes, and you should be good enough to for your reflexes to help you take catches like that. And Mark Waugh was, I think, one of the three or one of the five best slippers that I've seen in my life. I've seen a few. I think the best slip catches I've seen are Roger Harper against the Indians. Gavaskar didn't open, and the Indians lost two very quick wickets. And Roger Harper was just fantastic. Um, Also, the run out that Roger Harper uh, of his own bowling just threw down the stumps before the batter could realize. I think it was Graham Gooch in the um, bicentenary match in which Gavaskar scored 100. So coming back to the test match at Brisbane, the Indians were for a long time in the match on the back foot. They were aided by rain, but they didn't entirely depend on the rain. They fought back, and the last wicket partnership trust Bumrah to be there most of the time when the Indian team needs him. And Akashdeep has done is caused no harm at all. Um, Harsha Vogle is absolutely right in saying that Akashdeep will never again bat there. But with this Indian team, we don't know. Siraj has already come twice earlier than him. I mean, this Test match he came earlier than him, and in the earlier Test match he came earlier than the last two batters. So, I mean, it's possible, but it's not fair to ask Akashdeep to come that late. I think it can be counted as a batter who can score a 30 and hold one end up, Akashdeep. So, a lot of gains from the test match, and the way the Indians bowled in the second innings, I think they restored a lot of the balance that had gone completely one sided. And There's a lot of talk on the Indian celebration on avoiding the follow on. And Harsha Bhogle is spot on with Dinesh Karthik too. The right thinkers explained it beautifully, saying that the position in which the Indians were, any team in that position would have celebrated. So there's too much of talk by the Aussies and the media, and that is only taking jibes at the Indian team, which was down at that point of time. Now, uh, 1-1 with the two test matches to go. I was feasting on a lot of talks around the test match and a lot of other events, and I was just mesmerized by um, Michael Hussey, the Australian Mr. Cricket, and the Indian Mr. Cricket, Cheteshwar Pujara. I think Cheteshwar Pujara has emerged as the best analyst of the game, and that explains the reason why he was so successful with less skills and ammunition than the other big names. And Cheteshwar Pujara always was given the short shrift as far as reputation is concerned. The Virat Kohlis and Rohit Sharmas of the world got a lot of eyeballs, but not Puji. And that's the reason why Puji happens to be my favorite player, none else in the team that he was part of. So Michael Hussey was talking a lot about his stint with the Chennai Super Kings, and then one of my favorite players. Imagine a man who started that late in his career. I think he was about 34 or 31 or 34 when he got into the Aussie team. And did he make those years in international cricket count? Yes, he did. He actually surpassed Michael Bevan by some distance, and did that in test matches as well, something that Michael Bevan failed to do. So I'll for sure keep listening to Michael Hussey whenever and wherever I can. And Puji for sure is someone that has even surpassed um, Dinesh Karthik, our loved DK, in terms of analysis and then insights and stuff. Just fantastic. It's so much of a pleasure and treasure listening to Cheteshwar Pujara. I mean, he was already very high in my regard, and I mean it's multiplied the amount of regard I have for that the great man Cheteshwar Pujara. And I keep telling that story of how he asked Shah Rukh Khan when he was with KKR that he cannot attend the night parties because he's not able to do the puja in the morning. And if that's an indication, that's for the Prithvi Shahs of the world to lap up and know what's the right way to go. Prithvi Shaw, be looking forward. He's got so much of talent, and we're looking forward to him setting things right, and then him being dropped from the Mumbai team. The Mumbai Ranji team is the slap. I believe this is what God does to people who have ability. This is God's way of communicating with them, and He's telling Prithvi Shaw, enough of what you did. Don't go the Vinod Kambli way. Make a resurrection, and then your second coming is due. And if he listens to that advice, he'll be better served. A lot of people meaning good advice to him, and I'm looking forward to Prithvi Shaw making a comeback. He's such a talent. But he has to tighten his defense, that's for sure. But if he falls into the hands of some of these Indian players, I'm sure if he bats a few years with KL Rahul, he will blossom as a player and up his defensive game as well. So there's a lot of talk about Jasprit Bumrah, and Michael Hussey was saying that the first time he faced Bumrah long back, he had no clue what was happening. He couldn't see the ball. And for Michael Hussey to say that, I think is a lot of praise for Bumrah in his early days, and how he toned down and you know tempered down Jasprit Bumrah, who took his wicket and then took some wicket and then was sledging the batter, and then Hussey had to tell Bumrah to not cross that line and lose respect from opposition batters. So it's one lovely contribution that Michael Hussey has made to Cheteshwar Pujara, one of my favorite players. I don't remember Hussey doing any of the stupid thing that the Aussies do in terms of sledging. Even Steve Waugh was guilty of that mental disintegration stuff. They would have found some success, but they're not the most loved team in the world. So that's about the Brisbane Test. What about the next two Test matches? I've always said this. I have a feeling that the Indians will sneak into the final of the WTC, and I'd rather have South Africa confronting the Indians because their batting is really frail and fragile. I would not ideally want the Aussies to confront us in the final because the Aussies are a much better team than as a package. The bowling unit is fantastic. The batting is fragile, but somehow they find ways to win. So I'd rather have South Africa confronting us in the WTC final. And the Indians are within touching distance. I have a feeling that the Indians will do well in the rest of the two Test matches. The worst result could be, 2-all draw, and that will leave the Indians with a lot of work to do. But I see the Australians slipping up against the Sri Lankans with both the Test matches they have to play in Gaul, and with this kind of a batting lineup, I don't see how they can do well against the spin of Prabhat Jayasuriya and company. And I'm looking forward to what happens in those Test matches as well. I also see Pakistan denting the South Africans for good reason. A reticent and introverted Babar Azam giving way to the opposite, very expressive Rizwan, I think is a very, very good happening for them. And I look forward to what will happen in this series. I would like to think it will be a one-all between South Africa and Pakistan. Not wanting the Pakistanis to help us get into the WTC final, but that's a likelihood, and there's a lot to look forward to in the Test matches to come. There are 10 more Test matches that will decide. New Zealand has already eliminated themselves, themselves in the foot. Sri Lankans look very unlikely unless a miracle happens. And it is between India, Australia, and the South Africans, which two teams will make it to the WTC. And that's it regarding the events related to the cricket on the ground. I'll be back with another video on Ashwin's retirement. Do look forward to it. Looking forward to a lot of patronage and support um, from uh, from anyone, from everyone actually, and I can come up with a lot of useful and very interesting talks on cricket on the field and off the field. Thank you so much for your time.